Hi everyone, welcome to our group project presentation. We chose Apple as our target company. Our group members are Tingrui Wang, Jiayue Kong, Tiancheng Zhang, Jiwen Zhu, and Xiaotong Jian. There are 4 parts of our presentation. First, business background and motivation. Second, data. Third, methods and analysis. Fourth, conclusion and recommendations. According to the research in April 2019, Apple accounts for the second market share of mobile phones globally with 1.23%, and there are a huge number of iOS operating system users. The sale of the iPhone, almost 61.66, has declined in 2018. App Store has established a second income stream in its iPhone devices. App Store is a platform which enables customers or users to download, subscribe, and browse the applications. Since launched in 2008, the number of active and available applications in the App Store has consistently increased, and the App Store has created over $40 billion revenue for Apple in around 10 years. App Stores become the major distribution platform for mobile apps, and the total number of mobile iOS app downloads in 2016 has exceeded 55 billion. However, there are some strong competitors like Google Play Store. As App Store is an important revenue source for Apple, and the market competition is intense, it is critical to assure the user satisfaction and get more awesome apps entering the store. We conducted research and data analytics on the Apple App Store to provide better user experience, attract more users, and drive more revenue. The R analytical methodology is used to analyze the data and deliver insight in the following aspects. For developers, through the analysis, we can provide a better guideline service. What factors affect user ratings? How these factors affect user rating? What contributes to high user rating? How to get high user rating? For customers, why users give high rating? What factors impact on user satisfaction? The data are collected in line 2017 and contains 7,197 app iOS mobile application details. Data cleaning is divided into 6 steps. First, rename the selected attributes to make more understandable. Second, eliminate missing values. Third, filter useful and relevant attributes. Fourth, eliminate unrelated attributes. Fifth, classify attributes into numeric and categorical attributes. And finally, discover outliers. There are different factors may affect the app download and selling conditions in the App Store. In this case, we choose average user rating value for current version as our dependent variable label, and the independent variables are divided into 2 categories: numeric variables and categorical variables. There are 8 numeric variables. They are size, price amount, user rating count for all versions, average rating count for current version, average user rating value for all versions, number of supporting devices, number of screenshots showed, and number of supported languages. There are 2 categorical variables: content rating and primary genre. There are 3 conditions of outliers. First, the count of current rating equals 0. Second, the price amount is larger than 70. Third, the language number equals to 0. As a result, 1,461 rows of data is deleted in the stage of data cleaning. Correlation shows the dependence or association between two random variables or bivariate data. First, we use correlation metric function in RapidMiner to calculate the correlation of all genres between each numeric variable. As it is shown in the second graph, the correlation is generally low. They are obviously less than 1. The highest correlation is 0.173, which is the correlation between the number of screenshots showed for display and the average user rating value for all versions. There are two negative correlations. Negative correlation means higher values of one variable tend to be associated with lower values of the other. The correlation between the number of supporting devices and the number of screenshots showed for display, which is negative 0.032, and the correlation between the number of supporting devices and the number of supported languages, which is negative 0.036. Higher number of supporting devices tend to be associated with lower number of supported languages and lower number of screenshots showed for display. Then, we tried to use multiple linear regression model to find out the linear association between each numeric variable. As it is shown in the graph, the coefficients are overall low, which means the effect of the numeric variables on the label is low. But we still find out something needs to be mentioned. The coefficient between the user rating count for current version is 0, which means this variable has no statistical relationship with our label, the average user rating value for current version. The highest coefficient is the number of screenshots showed for display, which is 0.078. That means when the number of screenshots showed for display increased by 1, the label, the average user rating value for current version will increase by 1 accordingly. We choose the top genre games as a sample because the game app occupies the most large market share in App Store, have the largest total number of counts, and almost achieve high rating mark. It means the demand of model. Then we get the correlation of top genre with RapidMiner. In general, there is a correlation between different factors, but the correlation are quite low. For instance, the correlation between number of screenshots and average user rating value is 0.198, which is the highest correlation between the correlation matrix. It is hard to verify the relationship between the factors. Therefore, we choose the decision tree as our alternative method. Decision tree is a classification method. It displays possible consequence, conditions, and change event outcomes. It is suitable for decision making. At first, we need to define how high rating is belong to satisfactory. Considering in normal case, we think 5 is satisfied, 4 is relatively satisfied, 3 is general, 2 is relatively unsatisfied, and 1 is unsatisfied. Hence, we define the rating between 5 to 4 is satisfied. Let's see the result of applying the decision tree model. There is one root node, 4 non-leaf nodes, and several branches. Let's see the thick line.
The thick line displays that if an app can support over 20 kinds of app, screenshots in App Store is 5 and supporting language is more than 23, the app will accept the satisfied rating in most cases. Although other conditions will achieve satisfied rating, but it is just suitable for a small sample. It cannot represent most cases. Because the classification method has some limitation for overfitting, it is necessary to get some method to evaluate the credibility of decision tree, and one index of evaluation of classifiers is accuracy. So we choose the confusion matrix to evaluate the accuracy of decision tree, and then we find the prescience is 83.29% and the record is 99.9%. The accuracy is quite high as well. It is around 83.28%. The number indicates that the decision tree can be an appropriate predict method to help stakeholders and developers to make decisions. Let's see some recommendations. First is mobile app price control. Let's see a paragraph. The price of app will influence willingness of download directly. Almost a large number of high-rating apps are under $38. Relatively, the higher app lack more competitiveness in aspect of price. That may decrease the number of downloads because users probably choose another alternative app. Thus, a reasonable price is necessary. Second, mobile localization. Customize app to local language. In real world, the people use mobile phone in 6 top languages occupy 66% of population in the world. Compare the language less than 23. The app with more than 23 languages will achieve more counts. Therefore, mobile localization for at least the top several languages will increase the population of users. Second, appropriate supporting device maintenance. Supporting device means the device can run the apps. In recent years, Apple publishes new products at a high speed, and the app should keep the pace with the new product. Because if the hardware and setting change, previous version of app may not run perfectly in new devices, and sometimes will appear incompatible and flashback. Hence, it is important to update version and maintain appropriate supporting device. The last one is better visualization of application. More screenshots of application in App Store attracts higher user rating. Screenshots display the interface of app and establish the first impression of app. Except that customer will understand part of app function intuitively. Then, after their download, it is hard to beyond expectation compared with no screenshot app. Therefore, several meaningful and attractive screenshots will help increase users. Thank you for watching. That's it.